Hi everyone, my name is Harjeet and I'm going to play the role of Harsha Bhogle.
Hi everyone, my name is Yajur and I'm going to play the role of Sachin Tendulkar.
Hi everyone, my name is Shivam and I am going to play the role of VVS Lakshman.
Hello everyone, I am Giriraj and I am going to play the role of Sunil Gavaskar.
Hi everyone, my name is Dakshin and I'll be playing the role of Rahul Dravid.
Hello everyone, my name is Vansh and I'm going to play the role of Saurav Ganguly.
Hi guys, I am Vishal Srivastav. I am going to play the role of Ravi Shastri.
Hello everyone, welcome to this special visual podcast. I'm your host Harsha Bhogle, Master Blaster, the god of cricket. Well, I'm sure you have heard all these terms, all are related to the one and only Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar, the greatest man to ever have set foot on earth. He is the highest run scorer in international cricket. Well, I'm sure, pretty sure, that you have heard a lot about him. But today, we are going to see something behind the scenes. We present to you our adaptation of the Sachin Tendulkar story, told by his counterparts in the field as well as outside. So, Gavaskar, where did you first meet Tendulkar and what was the first impression he had on you?
Actually, I was sort of in the dressing room, the old dressing room of BCCI, and standing upon those wooden benches and through that partition, having a look at Ravi. And what I saw there, we sort of took him into the Mumbai team and similarly with Sachin. But Sachin was not at the Cricket Club of India. Sachin was at the Wankhede Stadium. Anil Joshi and Hemant Wangekar are the two who told me about Sachin and so. I went to the practice. They told me that the Mumbai team was practicing and he was in his 30s. I was standing there and watching him and so. The nets were on that side and he was batting like against whom? Raju Kulkarni, whom we all fondly called Bada Thompson because he was like Matt Thompson sometimes. He was batting against Raju and Raju, was a quite bit slippery. Of course, in the nets, we all know that not many bowlers follow the rules. They just bowl almost like from 18 yards and so. And Raju was doing that. But the manner in which Sachin was playing and basically the way he was punching him off the back foot straight around mid on and mid wicket area. I said he was bit as slippery, but to be able to get the time to play, it was quite astonishing for me. And to be honest, it really impressed me a lot.
All right. So now, Ravi, you were with him on the tour of Pakistan, where he got out in his first innings, only to come back and mention that he felt as if it didn't belong there. That's when a couple of senior Mumbai players who were a part of the team at that time told him that he needed to respect the bowlers at that stage. You were also in that group, weren't you?
Actually, at the time, I was in a big hurry. I just looked at him and I said, 16 years of age. And to be fair, when he spent half the inning at the crease, you could safely say that it is a kind of fish coming out of the water. But right after a month, when the tour of Pakistan was over, you can safely say that there was a great white shark coming out of water. And you know what? I tell him that exactly what you said. I said respect the conditions, respect the opponent, but don't change your game for nobody. Just give a little bit of time to yourself. And rest is history. No one had to tell anything about it because the rise was so rapid.
So, did you expect the rise was going to be so rapid because you had seen this little child running around?
Yeah, of course. Why would you even doubt that?
No, I don't doubt it. My job is only to ask questions. I'm no one to question your wit.
Okay, let me share an incident. We had been to Australia under 19 team. At the time, I was a coach come manager, and I was staying at the hotel and in the record player of Australia, and it was his hotel. And later at the dinner, a reporter joined us, and you know what I did tell him? And I said, we have a greatest batsman in the world, under 19 batsman in the world, who would become who would soon become a force to reckon.
So, Rahul, how much fun was it for you all to play together?
I think they were great memories, Harsha. That is the beauty of having been retired and being able to sit back and think about some of these things. When you're in it, when you're playing for the team, it's obviously great fun, but it's also greatly competitive when you're trying to win test matches. And what this results in doing is you often do not find time to reflect on such memories. Apart from this, we also had Viru Paji, who was a part of the batting lineup, and we batted together for 10 years. It was a really special thing to be a part of since we always challenged each other, pushed each other, and simply because I had a lot to learn from these guys.
Saurav Ganguly and Sachin knew each other from an under 15 camp.
That was the camp Basu sir was talking about, the camp in Indore. That was the first time I saw him, and what struck me was how much he wanted to play the game. Seeing him practice even after we had to go is what made me realize his passion.
So, did you think this gentleman next to you would open the batting with you for India? And then you made what, like 6,000 runs batting together for India. Is it all a blur or is it coming together now?
See, the thing with Saurav is that we started to play together in
Oh, hold
1984.
on, hold on. He was my roommate in MRF Pace. And trust me, he was, and he used to walk in the night.
We were roommates because you didn't want to sleep alone, man. You were scared.
Well, in those days, we didn't get single rooms, and it's an honest confession. One night I just saw him. He got up from his bed and walked around and came back to sleep. The next night, the same thing happened, and then I had to remain awake.
The story he tells about you, VVS, when he was fighting to get to his 240 something, he says one of his biggest problems when he was getting to his 241 was that he was in denial of playing the drives. I'm not gonna play this. Says Sachin, while at the other end, you were hitting boundaries for fun. 178, not our partnership. He was just hitting while he was telling himself, no, don't. You were just framing boundaries at the other end, making it difficult for him, he says.
It's truly humbling. But again, I still remember the chat we had in that room where we could see the statistics on the TV. And he told us that he was playing brilliantly, but he was getting out in a fictitious manner. After which we went to Sydney, and what struck me was the amount of control he had. With Simon Katich coming to ball, Damian Martin coming to ball, and him not playing a single cover drive was something which I had never seen or experienced before. Also, in my opinion, it is the most beautiful innings of Sachin and the one which I always mention to him. The other inning was against Pakistan in Chennai, wherein he had severe back spasm, but even then he continued to play and dominate. He was able to get over the pain and was able to control his instinct, which clearly showed the shot he had in his book. He completely cut down the cover area, but still able to get over 200, which in itself was a quite remarkable feat.
Now, it's starting to sound like a bit of a Rajshri movie where everybody is very happy with everyone else. Everything seems nice, but there must have been the odd disagreements as well over the 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, people obviously already handle them. People already talk about Multan all the time.
So, when was the last time you were asked about Multan? What, 5 minutes ago? 10 minutes ago?
See, the thing is, Harsha, if I were to be given a rupee for answering the question about Multan every time, then I'd soon turn into a multimillionaire. And just for the sake of everyone wondering what is the thing about Multan that we are talking about, Multan here refers to the 1994 declaration where we already having scored over 600 runs and being in a fairly comfortable position of winning the match, ended up declaring the innings even after Sachin being very close to his double 10 as he was batting on 194. We felt that making Pakistan play the remaining overs would help us get that bit of upper hand, and since the team winning the match would be a far greater achievement than Sachin himself scoring his double ton. Sachin and I have been friends for over 15 years now. We've always had a set of agreements, disagreements, with this being only one such instance. I felt that it was crucial for India to declare at that time in order to make a statement of intent. We resolved the matter amongst ourselves very quickly, and luckily, anger for Sachin is something which is like soda as it quickly dissipates. In fact, Sachin was amongst the first ones to cheer for me when I scored my 270, my career's best knock, just 2 tests later at Karachi. And there is no animosity between us, and we still share a very respectful relation to date.
I think, let me tell you, there have been so many disagreements among us while working as a group. It just happens behind closed doors, and the whole world doesn't get to see all those things. This one happened on the field, but that doesn't mean that we were fighting and were not talking to each other. I mean, we sort of closed that chapter immediately, and we have had many match-winning partnerships after that. And above all, Rahul and I continue to be good friends. So I think that is what really matters. Disagreements, I mean, each and every cricketer sitting here in this room would have had at some stage in their lives.
To add on that, I think for me, the most memorable part of the journey was that while there were agreement or disagreement, everything was for the benefit of the team. And that's why I think we were all able to achieve a lot of success, not only in India, but even overseas. And all of us took a lot of pride in playing for the country. And I think what was important is when we went out there in the middle, it wasn't a competition amongst ourselves, but a competition against the opposition. We correctly wanted to do well against the opposition, and I think that is the most important thing for our country and our team.
So, Sachin, when you were bowling, the only over you got in that match, what exactly was going in your mind? That resulted in the wicket. Was it because of the anger due to the declaration?
No. I mean, Dravid talked to me the next morning. I bowled only one over after saying yes to Dravid. I had played with Moeen for a long time and knew the googly was his weakness. All that went through my mind was to get Moeen out, and that is exactly what it did. While there were agreements and disagreements, everything was for the benefit of the team, and that's why we won not only in India but also outside.
So, Ganguly, at what point of time in your career did you decide to open with Tendulkar, and what was the reason for it?
You see, at that time, Sachin and Shiv Sundar were the openers for the team, and the partnership was not really making a mark. And I was batting at number 4 or maybe 5. So I decided to promote myself up the order to push the innings during the power play overs. One interesting incident that happened was during one of our matches against England in 1989, Sachin's form was a bit shoddy. So he asked me to play the first ball of the match. Darren Guff was the bowler and he bowled a fiery outswinger, which resulted in an outside edge and straight to the keeper. I think I'm the only captain to have asked his teammates whether I could have done something or not. Maybe this was mainly because of the presence of such great players such as Sachin, Dravid, and Lakshman. When we were touring Pakistan, their bowlers unleashed series of short balls on us. I faced a bit of difficulty in playing the hooks and pulls, but Tendulkar was of great help. He used to counter-attack these bowlers by playing the lateral shots. In this way, I personally believe Tendulkar was saving a grace for me in the series.
So now the question to the center of this podcast, Sachin, you have played so many exemplary innings, but which one of these is the closest to your heart?
One innings which I distinctly remember is the innings against Pakistan in the 2003 World Cup, where I scored 98 of 75 balls. Pakistan had given us a competitive target of 273 to be chased by us. During the break between the innings, my mind had understood the importance of winning the match, and it was the first time in my whole career that I had thought exactly how I would play each ball to make a good score and win the match. In the opening over, Wasim Akram bowled me a good length ball, and I straight away punched it down the ground. At that moment, I gained a lot of confidence and realized that the day would be mine.
With this, we come to the end of our podcast. We hope you found this interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.